I'm struck by what the president's trying to do with health care, what he's trying to do with tax reform as well. We're talking about simple majorities here as well. You can cheer the president for going at this unilaterally, but what's your take on what Congress has done or not done thus far? I know that conservative groups here have put a lot of money behind members of Congress, hoping that they'll vote in the way that you want them to vote. What's your feeling toward Congress at this point?
Another great question. Conservatives are very frustrated with Republicans. Let's face it, the heart and soul of the Republican Party are conservatives all across this country. And for the first time in my lifetime, a new Republican president had a majority in the Senate and a majority in the House to start his administration, which is a big deal. And let's face it, they haven't gotten a lot done. And Obamacare was, look, it's not. Most of the Republicans have done the right thing and have kept their promise. But we do have too many senators who are playing games on the Trump agenda and on the promises they themselves made to the voters. Susan Collins is not running for governor in Maine. You know why? Because she would lose in a Republican primary, because Republicans, even in a blue state like Maine, have grown frustrated with Republicans like Susan Collins, who promise during campaigns they'll do things like repeal Obamacare. But when they get that authority and when they get that majority, they step away from their campaign promise. And it's going to, if we can't get taxes done, this is going to be a real political problem for the Republican Party.
Talking about Susan Collins, though, doesn't that just make the work of President Trump more difficult?
Yeah, Susan Collins is making the work of President Trump much more difficult. She's doing really nothing to help. And these Republicans like John McCain and Susan Collins and sometimes Bob Corker, what they're actually doing is just making the Democrats' case for them. And what that is going to do to the Republican Party is it's going to cause a big split between conservatives who want us to actually do what we said we would do and others who believe that they should just tinker with these problems. The reason why President Trump is being so bold as to pull back on Obama's climate change agenda by shutting down these coal plants and with this war on coal and pulling back from the Iran nuclear deal and pulling back from Obamacare and pulling back from the persecution of Roman Catholic nuns and people of faith, the reason he's doing that is because it's simply what he said he would do, and Obama had gone so far with his agenda. It's about time we had a Republican, and President Trump is that Republican who's fighting fire with fire.